Welcome, dear listeners, to an extraordinary journey into the heart of health, wellness, and the transformative power of biohacking. Today, we're diving deep into a world where cutting edge technology meets ancient wisdom, all in the pursuit of optimal health and vitality. I'm thrilled to introduce our esteemed guests, Doctors Billy and Natalie Ledbetter, the visionary minds behind Upgrade Labs on Fifth Street in Austin, Texas. In this episode, you're about to embark on a fascinating exploration of the Ledbetter's personal journey into the realm of functional medicine and holistic health. You'll hear firsthand how their encounter with biohacking pioneer Dave Asprey reshaped their approach to health and wellness, and how their personal challenges led to profound discoveries and transformative health solutions. But that's just the beginning. Prepare to be captivated as we unveil the unique offerings of Upgrade Labs, where innovative workout machines like the Cheat Machine and AI driven cardio bikes promise maximum benefits in minimal time. Discover the magic of the Brain Trainer device, a marvel of neural biofeedback technology. That's a mouthful. Designed to harmonize your mind and body. As we navigate through this enlightening conversation, you'll gain valuable insights into the holistic versus allopathic medicine debate, the pivotal role of supplements in the biohacking journey, and the profound impact of community and support in achieving health and wellness goals. So, whether you're a seasoned biohacker or just beginning your journey towards optimal health, this episode is a treasure trove of wisdom, inspiration, and practical advice. I encourage you to listen closely, take notes, and most importantly, stay with us until the very end, as every moment of this conversation is designed to empower you to elevate your life to new heights. Without further ado, let's step into the future of health and wellness with doctors Billy and Natalie Ledbetter. All right, guys, before we hop into this podcast, I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Limitless Life Nootropics. They are my favorite nootropics company on the internet because they get all of their stuff third party tested, meaning that there's no impurities and you get high quality nootropics for a great price. And just for my listeners, you can get 15% off your entire order using the code GGH15. Again, code GGH15 will get you 15% off your entire order of anything at limitlesslifenootropics.com. And now, without any further hesitation, here's my conversation with the amazing doctors Billy and Natalie Ledbetter. Perfect. So, welcome to the show, doctors Billy and Natalie Ledbetter, owners of Upgrade Labs on Fifth Street in Austin, Texas. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I have been so excited to have this interview with you guys. Ever since I met you at the festival, you guys have been, I love everything you're doing. And meeting you at the Pecan Festival, going on the vibration plates, checking out the lymphatic drainage machines, all the light therapies. I've just been so intrigued with everything you guys are doing. Could you tell me a little bit more about your background and how you got into biohacking?
Yeah, you want to start?
Sure. So we started down I'm a functional medicine doctor, and I started down that road back in the 90s. So we've been kind of into a more holistic approach to the human body and human performance anyway. We stumbled across Dave Asprey about 8 or so years ago, and started listening to his podcasts, and everything that he was talking about was resonating real well, especially from an allopathic medicine perspective. Looking at the mitochondrial health, and then the word biohacking, was just like, hey, that's really cool. Controlling your internal and external environments to maximize your health, wellness, and longevity. And that's kind of how we got started down the biohacking road, even though we had already been doing it for the better part of a dozen years or so. So anyway.
What he said. Also, we have a daughter who has celiac disease. So that also kind of forced us to go down the route of looking for alternative things, because there wasn't a lot that Western medicine at the time had to offer. I mean, still really, to someone with celiac disease, just don't eat gluten, right? Also, I have a history of anxiety and depression, and Western medicine was trying to help me, but it wasn't really doing much. So during our exploration into other ways to improve other people's health and wellness, including our daughter, we stumbled upon things that actually help my mental health greatly, such as infrared lights and infrared sauna, and exercise. So it's made a huge difference in the lives of our whole entire family. And so we are passionate to share that with other people, because if it can make such a difference in the lives of just 5 people, what can it do to everyone else in the world?
And then
That
fast
is
forward 6 years,
incredible.
Dave released his franchise model, and we jumped on it, and that's how we come to be Upgrade Labs on Fifth Street.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love all of that. I feel like that resonates with so many people, especially in the biohacking world where, and again, I'm not going to discredit any, like some of the great things that Western medicine has done, but it does seem to not help everyone the way we would hope it would. So a lot of our backgrounds that people that get into biohacking are Western medicine kind of failed us, and we looked for alternative solutions. And Natalie, you said something that I wanted to ask about. So you said you had anxiety, depression. I also used to have that. And you mentioned exercise. I'm a big fan of it. But you also mentioned light therapy. Did you notice a difference with using light therapy for your anxiety and depression?
Huge. So, from my experience, when you're really depressed, maybe you know what you need to do, right? Someone can say, exercise is so amazing for depression. It will cure you. From my experience in the depths of depression, I just couldn't find the desire, or even if I had the desire, I just couldn't find the energy to actually do it. So it's like I wanted to get better, but I just didn't have the power of my own, I felt like. So a friend of ours in Washington State, and Washington State is dark a lot, so I think that's made my depression much worse. Bought me a secondhand light therapy panel, and I would sit down in the basement and sit in front of those lights, and it did help. And those were old lights; they weren't even great what we have now. Once we got more into biohacking and we bought our red light panels, um, I noticed if I sit in front of those in the morning and then we sit in our infrared sauna, we do that usually 5 days a week. It's hugely different, hugely different. My mood is so much better, and I don't even say anymore that I suffer from depression or anxiety. If I'm away from those modalities for a month or so, it starts to creep back. So I love our devices.
That is incredible. Light therapy recently came on my radar like maybe a year ago. And I feel like so many people, they hear about this and it almost seems like a bit on the woo woo spectrum.
Mhm.
Like, oh, it's just light. What does that have to do with anyone? Like, how is that going to help? But research and I keep hearing these anecdotes like how it's so transformative for so many things from physical health to mental health. I'm so happy you're able to find that and implement it to help you with your mental health. That is incredible.
Well, I think too, because of the fact that light is energy and that light comes into our body, gives our cells more energy, then someone who is depressed, who lacks the energy to do what they need to do, I believe that I can give you that extra little bit of energy to push you over the edge. So not only are you feeling better mentally, but you're feeling better physically, energetically, and it gives you that extra little something that you need to push you into going, okay, maybe I'll exercise today. And then you exercise and you feel so good. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this.
And people don't realize too that the research is starting to show we have a little bit of photosynthetic processes that go on at our cellular level as well. So just like plants that are fed by the sun and light, if we feed our bodies the sun and ideally the sun in proper doses, and then we do it artificially through the red lights and stuff. Yeah, we're charging our mitochondria. We're helping our cells. We're decreasing inflammation. We're making ourselves better.
I love that you use that analogy of plants because something I've told to quite a few people is that I feel like sometimes humans are just big, dumb plants, just like them. Because nowhere else on Earth does anything else try to avoid the sunlight like humans do. We're building
Right.
shelters, we're inside 24 hours a day sometimes. Like if you work from home, like you could go days without ever seeing the actual sunlight.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Yeah,
And we know what we do have some sort of photosynthesis quality. I don't know that we call it photosynthesis, but yes, we do need the sun. Like you said, we need the sun for energy and for other things too. So yes, I love getting that. That's another thing that helps to keep my depression at bay. I don't even want to say my depression. To keep depression at bay is getting outside and seeing the natural sunlight. I think that's why in Washington State it was way worse for me, just because there were 90 days in a row where the sun didn't peek its little head out. So here in Texas, I love it. I'm so appreciative that we have the sun like we do, and it really does help me to feel happy. But I have my red lights and my infrared sauna on the days that the sun doesn't want to peek its head out.
I know. I That was part of the reason I wanted to move south as well into Texas, just having more access to the sun when the air doesn't hurt your skin. I love it. And something else I wanted to touch on, you spoke about Billy, was the allopathic medicine. You said you were allopathic doctor or a holistic?
Yeah, so allopathically trained physicians are your what you would call your MDs. You're traditionally
Okay.
trained, sort of cookbook medicine, in my mind anyway. And I was trained that way, so I don't fully invalidate it, but I feel like, as you had alluded to earlier, that it's failed a lot of people, and it does not really. It's symptom treating, and it's not really causal root sort of thing. So, and that's where the holistic and kind of functional world comes in, where you start looking to root causes and maybe fixing some root stuff by just, oh, you've got this symptom here, let's give you something for that symptom. We're not fixing what is actually causing that symptom. So, but yeah, the allopathic world is just your traditionally trained medical doctors, MDs, Western medical doctors.
Western medicine is amazing. They've offered us so many great things.
I'm sorry, Natalie, I can't really hear you. Would you be able to?
Oh, yes. I said Western medicine has given so many amazing things. If my appendix ruptures, I definitely want to go to, a surgeon, an allopathically trained Western MD. But it's just more when you come down to like what Billy said, instead of just treating the symptom, let's go to the root. And that's what I love about Chinese medicine is it's all about the root cause. It's very different than Western medicine. We look at damp and heat and cold invasion and it's completely different philosophy, but it's looking at the root cause and treating the root instead of just treating the symptoms. And that's why we love functional medicine and biohacking, because you're trying to get to the root of things.
I agree with you both completely. I'm a big fan of functional medicine, Chinese, traditional, and Ayurvedic medicine because it really takes the human as a whole and tries to treat the person as a person. Whereas Western medicine, as you said, like if you break an arm, if you need surgery, it's great for that. But it's so specialized that you almost never get anyone that looks at the person as a whole. You go to an foot doctor, like they know how to deal with like feet. And if you go to a doctor specialized in your kidneys or liver, then they only know to look at that. They don't look at any other parts of your body that could be causing that downstream effect. So I love everything about that. Um, so you guys have an amazing background. I love that you were able to heal yourself, Natalie, and coming from an allopathic background into the functional medicine sphere is incredible. And having that wherewithal to know that like the whole human needs to be treated and figuring out the root cause as opposed to just treating symptoms. I wish there were more doctors like you.
There will be. It's coming. Yeah.
I'm hoping. So I mentioned it earlier, Upgrade Labs. This is what I am so excited for. I can't wait to check out the facility when you guys open. So I visited you a few times. I've gone, seen you at Kuya, seen you at the Pecan Festival, at the brunch, and I've seen all these cool gizmos and gadgets, lymphatic drainage, the bikes. What is kind of like a brief overview of what Upgrade Labs is going to offer to people?
I think in a nutshell, it's going to elevate your vitality, health, and longevity in minimal amounts of time. So it's going to increase your health and save you time. That's our whole entire purpose right there. I mean, not our whole entire purpose. We also have a spiritual piece and a community piece, but we want to help people increase their health, their vitality, their energy, their longevity, live longer, better, stronger, happier, and not have to spend 4 hours a week in the gym.
Or more.
Or more, yeah.
Well, it's not just the gym you guys are saving people time in. I mean, I've seen the cheat machine. I've not been able to try it out myself yet because you guys aren't quite open, and I'm real excited to check that out. But like the lymphatic drainage machine, sorry, I'm drawing a blank on it. Is that table with the blankets that have the electrical pulses, PEMF?
Oh yeah, the PEMF.
PEMF and pulsed electromagnetic field mats.
Yeah, all that is fascinating. And again, you're saving people time, like not in the gym, but what about all these other modalities? Like, what would be the alternative to those, or are those more of like increasing your overall health?
That the recovery from injury, recovery from just the damages of life, recovery from workout, and then also just a wellness piece, right? Just helping increase people's health and vitality
I think the concept kind of is that, in Dave's words anyway, raising the vibration of humanity, which my definition of that would be that we're educating people on their bodies and giving them a technology driven means to optimize that body in the least amount of time, and doing that through a few workout modalities. I call them workout modalities. I use that very loosely, but it's hard to define when you're talking about like the cheat machine and being able to go in and do an upper and lower body workout in 12 minutes, which is the equivalent, if you do that 3 times a week, the equivalent of doing 6 hours of weightlifting in a gym every week. So it's very hard for people to conceptualize, well, I'll never be able to get that kind of results. And it's like, well, we have research, it's AI driven, it's research based. And same thing with the cardio. You get the same cardio workout of 5 45-minute runs. If you do a cardio bike 5 minutes, and these are AI driven bikes, by the way, do 5 minute rides 3 times a week. And that's the same as 5 45-minute runs, basically. Yeah. And you end up actually better with your VO2 max and stuff like that. But, and then really the piece that's been missing in most facilities is like Natalie said, the recovery piece. And so there's going to be 7 different modalities for recovery, including a brain trainer, which is one of the things I'm really excited about. We call it a brain trainer. It's really a neurobiofeedback machine that helps teach you how to control your own mind and stay in a more peaceful parasympathetic state, no matter what's going on around you. But anyway, so there's the recovery piece. And we know from the research that after about 35 or so years old, the body does start to slow down, and as we see from people aging and stuff, and it's because they don't have that recovery component to the degree that we're going to be offering.
Well, and also what I'm super excited about is being a perimenopausal woman myself. I have a really passion for other women in this phase of life and past this phase. And typically left to our own devices, if we don't get bioidentical hormones and if we don't do something different than what we did in the past, we will lose muscle mass, we will lose bone mass, we may have osteoporosis, osteopenia, our metabolism slows down, we tend to start gaining weight in the middle, all these things that I'm not okay with. And we don't have to be okay with that because we have all these modalities now that in an hour or less a week, total, the whole entire week, I can increase my muscle mass, I can increase my bone density, I can increase my metabolism, I can get brown fat instead of white fat, which has higher metabolism. All these amazing things. Plus, I can take care of my brain because for perimenopausal and menopausal women, we tend to have brain fog, which for busy entrepreneurial business owning women, that's not okay. So I'm so excited that everything that we have in Upgrade Labs is going to help elevate my life, his life, and everybody else who comes to see us. We're going to elevate your life in minimal amounts of time because people these days are so busy. We don't have time to spend 3 hours on this and 2 hours on that and 12 hours a week in meditation. I love meditation and I do a lot of meditation, but the fact that we're going to have that brain trainer that'll help train me to go right into alpha right away is so exciting to me because that's just going to help my meditation practice be even that better. And for people with a history of anxiety, training your brain to go right into alpha, it's going to help take away that anxiety piece. I'm so excited. I can't stand it.
I feel your excitement. And you've mentioned the brain trainer now a couple of times. Both of you seem real excited about that. I've kind of read about that in Dave's latest book, but would you be able to go a little bit more in depth on what exactly the brain trainer does and like how it's going to, like what people should expect if they were to come into Upgrade Labs and say, hey, I want to make my brain better?
Do you want me to address that piece or do you want to talk about it?
You can go ahead. I'll tag on after you're done.
So what's really awesome is it's going to be less than an hour per session. We'll have an actual special cap with electrodes on it, and it's not needles, so it's not going to be any needles that are going to poke you. So the electrodes are going to touch the scalp, and we're going to be measuring the EEG, the electroencephalographic waves, the brain waves. Looking at those brain waves, then you're going to have a feedback loop. Actually, they are working on gamifying it so that you can actually make it like a game where you can see what your brain waves are doing. There'll be different tones that tell you what your brain waves are doing. So you're going to have this instantaneous feedback of here's what I'm trying to do now. Here's what's happening on the screen. Now I'm going to try to like really relax and see what are the tones, what are the waves. If I get myself anxious, what happens on the screen. So it allows you then to learn without spending 40 years in a cave, meditating and taking the long way to control your body. you're going to learn so quickly what different thought patterns do to your brain waves, what those different brainwave patterns that you want feel like. And you can also see on the screen and hear with the tones that you've made it so that you know, oh, here I am. Here's alpha. Ooh, here's what alpha feels like. Here's what alpha looks like. So then you can get yourself into alpha quicker and you know that you're there.
The alpha is a more relaxed state. If you're familiar with brain waves at all, with like delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma, all of those waves. The alpha state is a very relaxed parasympathetic state. And the whole concept is based off of Dave's 40 years of Zen. And not only is there the visual feedback and the auditory feedback, but during the training, there is coaching that is being done to help you get to that state. And we know from the research too that calm parasympathetic, which is the resting recovery kind of state, versus the sympathetic fight or flight, cortisol inducing inflammatory kind of state that a lot of us live in, and we float around in those beta waves, high beta waves, where it's really, I call it stress. That may not be the best word for it, but that is where when you're in beta, you're dumping more cortisol. It's more of a, like I said, fight or flight sort of. It's a high thinking too, so I can't say it's just stress, but it's a very high thinking, alert, kind of state of mind.
You want to be in beta and high beta sometimes. So the great thing is that with the brain trainer, you can train to any of the brain states that you want. I'm really excited to play around with gamma because gamma is purported to be the God wave. It won't be. That's something we're going to have to ask for next.
Be in the lab.
Dang it.
To get it, that's in the 40 years of Zen when you start doing that stuff. But that's 12 to 14-hour days for 5 straight days up in Seattle. And so this is a smaller version of that. Yeah, but it allows us to scale it a little bit better because it's more difficult to scale the 40 years of Zen.
That is fascinating. You piqued my curiosity with that God wave reference, Nelly. I'm gonna have to look into that. That sounds really interesting. I'm not super familiar with 40 years of Zen, but I've heard Dave talk about it. But I'm super interested in that as well.
That's and you mentioned the top of my list, of our list of experiences to have.
It's going to be, I'm sure it'll make the top of my list as well. That sounds amazing. And you mentioned all these different brain waves. And what I correlate a lot with different brainwave activities besides meditation is sleep. So like, I believe delta wave, when we're in that state, is like the deep sleep state. Will using this brain trainer, is it a possibility that it could help people achieve greater delta wave sleep?
Yes.
I think, well, I would say possible. Just remember that for the Upgrade Labs itself, for the franchise model, it is a scaled version. So, and they're focusing primarily on alpha, because again, that's your parasympathetic rest and recovery sort of state of mind. So when you're in a very stressful situation and your brain's got da. Most people sort of stay there. If you track them, they'll stay there. They may come down a little bit, but they never get into that fully relaxed. What the brain trainer is going to train you to do is like Natalie said, recognize what that state is and how to get there. And it trains you how to get there. And so when you are in that high stress state and you're finished with whatever it is that you had to be there for, now you can go and then calm right back down, let the body recover, decrease that inflammation load.
And so it just follows that if you can get yourself into alpha quickly, then you should be able to get into delta more quickly. Because if you start out at night, you're laying in bed, you're trying to fall asleep, you're in high beta, and it takes you an hour or two to get down out of beta. If you can learn quickly to get yourself out of that beta down into alpha, into a relaxed state, then you're going to be able to fall asleep quicker. And then your body can possibly move itself into delta much more quickly. But we have other modalities that are really going to help with sleep. The cryotherapy actually has been shown to help with REM sleep and deep sleep. The PEMF helps with sleep. So there are going to be so many different modalities that we have available that's going to help sleep. So it's not just one, but we have a lot of things to choose from.
I'm so happy that you're going to have these modalities to help with sleep, because I know that coming from a coaching background, I've had clients that they've struggled to hit certain goals, and nearly every time when someone is struggling to like lose weight or gain muscle, it almost always comes back on their sleep. because they're just not sleeping well, they're not getting enough sleep, whatever it is, or they have those racing thoughts, as you mentioned, with the alpha waves, and they can't quite turn it off. Having these modalities to improve sleep, I feel is such a foundational um, core for ultimate health. And I'm so glad you guys are going to be helping people get better sleep because that alone should increase everyone's quality of life significantly.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, like these will be sold in the upgrade labs too, and the education that goes along with them, and
True dark
you know,
glasses.
so yeah,
Those the true dark.
these are the true dark glasses. Yeah,
Well, so I have the nighttime ones. Are those the daytime ones?
these are more of the daytime. I call them late afternoon, kind of midday, late afternoon ones, and then you have the red ones for as you get kind of closer to the end of the evening. He does make some clear ones that still block some of the blue, just not quite as much as these yellow ones do. Those are more of your early morning kind of midday sort of glasses. So he has a whole well, he has several podcasts on
Mhm.
on how it affects you and how it affects your sleep. So
I typically don't wear mine until say after around 1 or 2, unless we're going to be on the screen. If I'm going to be on the screen a lot, then I'll wear my glasses as well. And the red ones, we put those on, and seriously, about 20 minutes later, you can't stay up awake. It's incredible.
Mhm.
So besides the glasses and all of the modalities, yeah, I'm so super excited that we're going to get to help people sleep because I really truly believe that if you don't have quality sleep, you can't have quality health, and especially in mental health or physical health.
we know that from research. Research is the one that
Yeah, I agree completely. It seems so, again, one of those things that just seems so fringe so many years ago. Blue blockers, how is that going to help? And then people start wearing them. They're like, this is crazy how well they work. Just like, even if you don't get like tired immediately, it's like the next day you wake up, you're like, I feel better. I feel more rested. Was it just the glasses? And for me, that's all it was. Like, I didn't struggle to go to sleep ever. I didn't have these problems like sleeping, but then I started wearing them
Mm-hmm.
and I just noticed, I was like, I feel more rested the next day. And yeah, and I learned this all from Dave Asprey, loving all of his stuff, seeing his shorts, wearing the blue blockers all the time. I loved it. So I invested in my own. I was like, these are amazing. Uh, and I want to double back on one thing we brought up earlier was the cheat machine. You talked about getting a workout in 12 minutes comparable to several hours in the gym. And you even mentioned like an upper lower split. This, again, coming from a personal training background as well, again, I'm huge into biohacking. I love all the different modalities. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around getting all that kind of exercise benefit in 12 minutes. Would you be able
Yeah.
to touch on that just a little bit more? Like, because you mentioned AI, how, what does the research say on like these 12 minutes compared to the 3, 4 hours in the gym?
for so when you're lifting weights in the gym, there's a couple of things that no matter how hard you're really trying, you're probably not putting out as maximal effort as you could. When you adjust over to a machine that's now monitoring you, multiple hundreds of times per second in your motion, just say we're doing a leg press.
Mhm.
And not only do you have eccentric and concentric loading, but it's monitoring your output every hundreds of times a second, and it's making adjustments real time to force you to use more muscle to move that device. And so the research shows that you get about 94% more efficiency using the AI adaptive machine than you would lifting weights for the same body part. And so again, you're doing, say a 6-minute lower body, 6-minute upper body, and again, it's the equivalent of hours of lifting weights in a gym. Now, the one thing you're not going to get necessarily with the AI adaptive that you do at a gym is the social, chest butting and rah, 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 kind of stuff.
You can have that.
But I mean, you could theoretically have that. But you're increasing by utilizing more muscle fibers in a more efficient manner. You're also increasing fat loss. You're increasing your muscle gain. You're actually increasing cardiovascular fitness by about 3.5 times. And all of this is again in Dave. I love Dave. He's it's all research based, and he's looked into it and gotten very granular on it. And so he's vetted these things for years now, and finally has released it with the franchise model that he has. And these are well vetted machines that he has personally um, looked into all the research behind. And so,
What I think is really cool, like he was talking about eccentric and concentric loading. Um, Whenever I'm like, say, working out, doing a leg press, as I'm extending, I'm really pushing, right? But then when I'm flexing, the machine just pushes back on me, right? So I don't have to use any force, I don't have to use any energy. Well, with the cheat machine, you're actually using more force coming back on flexion than you used on extension. So it's like you're doubling your workout because the machine isn't just going, oh, hey, you're actually having to push back and resist as it's pushing back on you. So it's really exciting. And I love the fact that you see the graph.
yeah,
You know what you're doing. You can see how hard you're pushing and how hard it's pushing on you. And so you can compete against yourself. Like, oh, let's see if I can do it harder, stronger, better the next time. And it keeps track of your progress. So you know from one time to the next whether you're improving and how much you're improving. And it's just exciting to be able to see what you're doing instead of just, for me, I don't want to go to the gym and do free weights because one, they scare me and I'm not sure what I'm doing and it just feels uncomfortable. But having a machine tell me what to do and monitor me, I feel much more comfortable doing that. And then I also can see my progress and see what I'm doing. I like that.
Saving.
I love the saving time. Yes. We have muscles and we only work out for about an hour a week. Not even an hour a week, probably 30 minutes a week as far as our musculoskeletal workout. So, hey, if you can get, I have way more muscle mass than I have now at 56 than I had at 40, 45, and I work out way less. So I'm super happy about that.
Again, I am so excited to try this out. Like, having been a gym rat for many, many years, again, hard for me to wrap my brain around it, but I am so excited to see how this kind of machine works and what it can do, not just for average people, but like for people that, um, such as myself, where I've kind of plateaued in strength, where it takes a lot more effort for me to put on muscle. I'm excited to see this new novel machine,
Yeah.
and how it can work. And you touched on it so greatly, Natalie, in that so many people, like, they're a little intimidated by the gym. They're intimidated by these weights. They don't want to get hurt. They see like all these weights. They don't know where to start, what to do. And having this machine that can literally, like you said, tell you what to do, tell you how to do it. And you don't really have to worry about this injury because you're being constantly monitored. That, I think, is such an amazing elevation to the exercise and fitness realm, because the hardest thing to get anyone to do when it comes to like fitness is just taking that first step. And I think you guys making it so simple and accessible for people is such a revolutionary game changer for the fitness industry. And I am excited to see where the future of this holds, because the cheat machine, as Dave's looked into it, I've seen his research. It's still a pretty new technology. AI is still pretty new, and I'm so excited to see where it goes from there.
We have another secret that I don't know if we can say yet, so we're not going to say what it is, but we're also looking at another musculoskeletal device that is it's another cheat machine, but it's different brand, and it has different technology, and it's can do so many things. So we're looking at yet another additional piece of amazing equipment that we're going to add to the facility. So by the time we open, we're going to have new toys that we haven't even talked about yet. We're going to go next week and try it out. So we're super excited, but we can't say what it is just yet, but it's coming.
That sounds awesome. I didn't even know there was different ones coming out in the market. I am excited to see what it is.
We're so excited.
And you also said something that makes me so happy when you said it, was the cardio machine, where you can get
Yes.
like 3 45-minute workouts done in like 5 minutes. I don't even care how exactly accurate that is. Just telling me I don't have to do all that cardio
Yeah.
is a godsend. I'm just like, cool, let me get in there. That is what I want.
Well, it's research based. I mean, we know that from riding the AI adaptive bike, which again it adapts to you real time by taking hundreds of measurements every second, and it's a reduced exertion hit workout basically. And you're doing 5 of those 5-minute rides 3 times a week. And from the research, looking at VO2 max, as well as some of your blood indices like triglyceride levels, your insulin sensitivity, and stuff like that, it's the equivalent of 5 45-minute runs.
Or 5 45-minute cycling classes.
Yeah.
And those classes are hard. I don't know if you've ever done those, but dadgum, 45 minutes of that, a spin class, I'm about to fall off that bike. And it's fun. And if you want to do a spin class, yay, do it. If you have time to do it, great, do it. Say maybe you go once a week to do your spin class because you love it. And then the other times you do 2 or 3 5-minute rides on our bike. And then you have maxed out, not maxed out, but you've gotten the same cardiovascular benefit. You've optimized it and you've saved all that time. We're not about don't go and do these other things. Do spin class if you love it. Go out and run if you love it. Except for running, though, we used to both be runners, and it can damage your knees and your hips. So, do what you love, but we want to live to be 120, and we want to be optimized all the way there. I don't want to be in a wheelchair when I'm 100 years old. And so I stopped running because I was starting to have knee problems and hip problems. One of our best friends, she had to have surgery because she's a triathlete. And do what you love, but do it with knowledge and wisdom and information that if you do want to live to a ripe old age and you want to have all your body parts, your original body parts, maybe you should think about it. Is running the best thing for you? I don't know. It wasn't for us. So we needed to replace running with something that helped our cardiovascular fitness be optimized and save us time too. Because owning 3 other businesses and starting a new business, we don't have a lot of time.
And that's really what, for me, that's the big thing is to Dave's book, Smarter, Not Harder. Okay, let's do this smarter, save some time. And then all of that extra time that's now freed up, because we need our health. So we have to invest in that. Otherwise, we've got nothing really. So it doesn't matter how much money or how much time you think you've got. If you don't have your health, you've really got nothing. But now keeping our health intact and freeing up some time and then being creative with that time and really, helping, again, raise the vibration of humanity, being creative, doing more podcasts and getting more information out to whatever it is,
Yeah. And again, less cardio is always great for me. I'm all about it. And what I think so many people don't realize, like how running and conditioning, because we see athletes, that's what they do. And they look amazing. They look super in shape, but they're pushing these peaks and they're running at like, they're revving their engines into like the red line all the time. And they can only maintain that for so long. And then as these athletes who are always doing like these extreme workouts, these intense cardio sessions, they start breaking down over time. And it sounds like Upgrade Labs isn't pushing people into these red lines for any extended period of time. It's more of getting you close to it, but in an optimal zone. So that way you have your longevity and you have all the benefits that come along with training and cardio and resistance training. And yeah, I love all of that aspects of it.
And then throwing in the recovery piece afterwards so that you get to recover as well.
Faster.
Yes, and I wanted to ask you about that. So you guys are doing cryotherapy. I know there's 2 different modalities of it. What kind is going to be offered at Upgrade Labs?
We have the Everest, the cryo built, so it's the full body. You get to be in there, and it's not nitrogen driven, liquid nitrogen driven, so it's safe to have your whole body in there. And why you want whole body cryo is that it actually is very healing to the blood-brain barrier to have your head in the cold as well. Increases BDNF and it helps with brain injury. And so it's just a much better device. We at our med spas, we used to have a different one, a liquid nitrogen driven, and you had to leave your head out. And this one is just so much better. It's top of the line. And so we're super excited about it. And you get all the benefits that you would get from a cold plunge. And if people love to cold plunge, yay, do it. That's great. I would rather do cryo because it's 3 minutes and I don't have to be dripping wet. I don't have to change my swimming suit and hang that up and dry all off. And to me, I feel like it's a lot less miserable. I know there's a lot of people who love cold plunging. To be honest, I do not love it. I do it, but I don't love it. And I'd rather do the cryo, and then I can jam out to Eminem or Pitbull or something in there, and it makes it go by so much faster. So I love our cryo machine.
What would you say is the biggest difference besides convenience, like not having to get into a bathing suit for a cold plunge? What would you say is the biggest difference between the cryotherapy and the cold plunge?
I think you already nailed it in my mind. I mean, it's
Just
the not having to get wet, not having to clean up, not having to share water with other people.
that's
So there's the
probably a big one.
hygienic part of it. Even if you're doing purely clean ozonated water, all of that good stuff. Um, those are really the biggies, and the research shows that well, I duck my head in our cold plunge, so we have a cold plunge here, and and I duck my head, but
If you
the
don't cover your
research
head,
the
though,
research shows that they're very similar in the benefits. So you don't necessarily have to do a cold plunge. You can actually do the cryo, and feels a little more humane to me too. I mean, I like the cold plunge just fine. I've trained my body to really go into parasympathetic and just sort of zen there. Um, but it's a lot easier just to hop into the chamber and go 3 minutes, hop out, put my clothes back on, and go about my day. Um,
now because he does dunk his head under the water in the cold plunge, so he gets that brain benefit. I just don't want to do that one as a girl, a woman, whatever. I don't want to have to mess with my hair. That probably sounds shallow, but having hair, it takes a lot of work to do stuff with it. So I don't want to get it wet. So I like the cryo because I can get the brain benefit without having to get my hair wet and then blow dry it and brush it and all the things. It just saves me time.
Time saver.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one too. It's a time saver. It's
It is.
another time saver.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and it seems like the running theme for everything you guys are doing is making stuff so convenient but effective that it gives people more time to live their lives. They don't have to dedicate so much of their time to doing all these different modalities of healing, recovery, training, when they can just save time and use the energy that they're going to get from all these different modalities you guys offer to live even more fuller lives.
Yes, we want to take away your excuses. Right? Because
Mhm.
we're given this life and it's so amazing and it's so valuable, and we all have limited number of years here, and we don't know how many years that's going to be. And if we can give you back your energy so that you now have a bigger bandwidth to see what else is possible, what else is out there, what else can I do, who else can I love more, who else can I serve more? Ooh, spirituality, what's that about? Now I have energy and bandwidth and my brain is working better. Maybe I want to go and explore that. Like, we just want to take away your excuses and give you more energy, and um, give you the ability to live a more all-out life. That's what we want.
Like I keep saying, I am so excited for you guys to open up. So, do you guys have an official date on when Upgrade Labs will be opening yet?
April is
It's written in sand, and the tide is kind of coming in and out. So yeah, but we're looking at the end of March, beginning of April.
Okay, perfect. I will
every time we
definitely
turn
be.
around, the
Yeah.
time changes though. But yeah,
A lot of it depends on
early April is what
cost
we're
and
saying.
permitting, and all of the
Building.
things.
Yes, working with government. It's always so fun and very
Yes,
Yes.
doesn't make you
it's a
want to pull your
growth
hair out anymore.
experience. Let's just put it that, okay?
Yes.
And working with builders and contractors, and that's a growth experience. And
Mm-hmm.
finding new things in your space that you didn't know needed to be fixed, that's a growth experience. We've had a lot of growing that we've gotten to do over the last year. Yeah.
Well, that's also what keeps you young is learning and growing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And something else I want to touch on, because I know this is probably one of the biggest thing Dave probably talks about, and I'm sure you guys also have a few in your cabinet. Supplements. Is Upgrade Labs going to have run any of like the bulletproof supplement line? Uh,
Dave,
Probably be Dave's.
yeah, he has
instead
a
of
new,
Bulletproof, yeah.
yeah, and maybe Bulletproof eventually. He's working on that, but right now we'll be offering something called Supgrade, and it's Dave's new line, where he has top of the line minerals, DAKE, DAKE, um, like a supplement that supports men's hormones and women's hormones, and then we'll have the Danger Coffee. Um,
Danger
and
Coffee, by the way, is delicious. I'm a big fan.
what's in here right now?
We'll have a Danger Coffee bar there at the Upgrade Lab, so everybody can have their Danger Coffee.
Yeah,
And
come in.
there will be a select line of supplements to answer your question. So yeah.
But you can come in and you can have your Danger Coffee and sit in front of the biocharger, which is another device that we're going to have that we use every day at home. So you can sit, sip your coffee, and recharge yourselves with the biocharger, and hang out with your community and make new friends.
That sounds fantastic. Um, do you guys personally like, do you have supplements that you take that you're a big fan of?
Yes, there's a lot. Probably
Myself as well.
this many.
I know.
Yeah, there's a
Once we
few.
once we go down that rabbit hole supplements, I feel like everyone takes so many in the biohacking community, but do you guys have like a top three that you feel like were game changing?
Yes.
What are your top three?
The NR nicotinamide riboside, that one is number up in the top. I think DAKE, the DAKE,
Mhm.
that's in the top for sure. Stemregen is a supplement that helps you to increase your stem cells in your body. That one is huge. Timeline Nutrition, MitoPure, urolithin A.
You're at four now. That's your top three.
Spermidine. Okay, yeah. Wait, yeah. We probably have top 15, but those are the ones that we take every day, a lot more every day.
And I take Arteriasil, which I really believe in, as well as Vastanox for nitric oxide production.
Could you repeat those last
Um,
two? For some reason, it cut out a little bit.
Arteriasil
Mhm.
is made by Arteriasil. I forgot the company now. And Vascanox, same company makes Vascanox. And Arteriasil is for endothelial glycocalyx rejuvenation, which is the inside of our arteries and arterioles. And then to reverse cardiovascular disease. And then Vascanox is a nitric oxide inducer. So it induces nitric oxide production.
And 101 is really good nitric oxide supplement. Well, it would take, but yeah, we take so many, and we don't always take them every day, but we kind of cycle in and out depending on what our bodies tell us they need that day.
It's really interesting. You both mentioned like nitric oxide. I like that because something that I've always been curious about when I learned about the cheat machine was that we tend to build more nitric oxide about 20 to 25 minutes into workouts. Do you notice your ability to remain calm when you take these supplements that increase nitric oxide? Sorry, it might be a little weird question, but it's something I've looked into. I'm real curious about these supplements.
It would make sense. I mean, we've done so much to get to a place of calm with all the meditation and the other things that we do. But I will say that I've noticed with mouth taping at night, which increases your nitric oxide significantly,
Mhm.
increases a sense of calm at night, I believe. I believe that, I mean, who knows, because we do all the meditation as well, which helps us calm down, but we can calm down much faster and get into a place where we're ready to fall asleep than we once did. And I feel like nitric oxide plays a role in that because of the mouth taping and also taking the Vascanox. But also we do brain tap and we listen to different tones and we do new calm. And so we do a lot of things that help with that sense of calm. But we're a big fan of nitric oxide for sure.
Okay. Me too. I was curious because you mentioned a couple of supplements that I've never heard of before. And yeah, I'm always looking for new ones to try myself. I've just like you guys cycle through so many of them. I think vitamin Dake is probably like the one that's mainstay, and then like everything else just cycles, see what I like, see how it affects me. So yeah, I could probably also list my favorite top 15 as well. It just comes with the territory of biohacking.
I think so, yeah.
There's a supplement called Restore from Tenant Products that when we do the Restore, we'll cut way back on our other supplements for that day because it has about 90 different supplements in it. So that's a really good biohack for people who don't want to take a huge handful of pills 2 or 3 times a day. Just drink a shake made with Restore once or twice a day, and you're getting 90 of your supplements, which is a whole lot, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's an amazing one that we do as well. And on days we don't feel like taking handfuls of pills.
I get that. Some days you just see that handful and you're like, I don't feel like
Yeah,
swallowing all of these today. Definitely
right.
had those days. But
Yeah.
all right. Again, I am so excited for Upgrade Labs. And you said you're going to be opening, fingers crossed, late March, early April. Uh, I'll definitely be checking it out. Do you guys have social media or anything you'd like to mention for people to find you or sign up for a newsletter?
Yes, please. So on Facebook and Instagram, it's Upgrade Labs 5th Street. And also Dr. Natalie Ledbetter is my personal page where I do just different biohacking things, more around perimenopausal, menopausal women, but for other people as well. And then our website is Upgrade Labs 5th Street. there are ways that you can DM me on one of those. You can also reach out through the website, and we can get you on our mailing list. When you're on our mailing list, we let you know ahead of time when we're going to have our biohacker brunches and our different events and parties. Also, when you're on our mailing list, you have the opportunity to join our founding membership rate, which will save you over $110 a month until we're sold out on that. And we're about halfway there. So if anybody of your listeners is interested, just have them DM me on through one of the social medias or reach out to us through the website, and we can tell them about the founding membership, which is an amazing membership.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen those, and that's such an amazing deal that you guys are offering. I love it. So yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you guys for your time. I'm so excited. I hope everyone listening is also excited for Upgrade Labs coming to Austin. And yeah, get out of your own way. Stop making excuses. Upgrade Labs is here to give you back your time and give you more energy.
And
So,
give you a community too.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes, I think that might be the biggest thing, is having that community, that support system of people that all want to improve themselves.
Yes.
Yes. That will cheer you on, that will be there for you and encourage you to do the right things for your health. Yes. And we appreciate you, Drake, so
Yeah,
much. It
thanks,
was so amazing.
Appreciate
We're
you.
so happy that we got to meet you at the Pecan Street Festival. And then you helped us get connected to Kuya. And you've been a blessing to us already in our lives. And we can't wait to, to just continue to see how that connection grows.
Me as well. And again, pleasure's all mine. You guys are fantastic, and I love what you're doing. So,
so have a beautiful day.
Yes, thank you.
And you guys too. Try and stay warm.
I know, you too.
All right. As we draw the curtains on this enlightening conversation with Doctors Billy and Natalie Ledbetter, I hope your mind is buzzing with the possibilities that biohacking and a holistic approach to health can unlock. Today's journey with the Ledbetters has been nothing short of inspiring, painting a vivid picture of how technology, when harmoniously blended with the wisdom of nature, can elevate our health, vitality, and overall well-being. But remember, the journey doesn't end here. It's just a beginning. If today's conversation ignited a spark within you, a curiosity to delve deeper into the world of health, optimization, and biohacking, I encourage you to take the next step. Firstly, make sure to visit Upgrade Labs on social media. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Upgrade Labs 5th Street. There you'll find a community of like-minded individuals, the latest in health technology, and a wealth of resources to support you on your journey to peak health and performance. And for those of you who are passionate about pushing the boundaries of human potential and longevity, I invite you to join my Facebook group, The Immortality Project. It's a space dedicated to exploring the cutting edge of health, wellness, and the science of longevity. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. So, as we conclude this episode, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned and how you can apply these insights to your own life. Remember, health is not just the absence of disease, it's the abundance of vitality. It's your time to thrive. Thank you for joining us on this journey. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.